Hi. This is going to be a video on compound if statements. So we're going to be combining our if function with AND functions as well as OR functions. Just a brief explanation on AND functions and OR functions. OR functions typically imply that there are multiple ways to get the goal. So for example, you might start an if statement saying like, if they have a job rating greater than 3, or if they have 10 or more years of service, then they can get a $1,000 bonus, for example. So there's two different ways to get that $1,000 bonus. So maybe you've worked there for more than 10 years and you didn't get a job rating greater than 3. And at that point you will still get your $1,000 bonus. Now obviously that's a pretty poor way to run your company because you're basically telling people that they don't have to do well at their job once they hit a certain point in their career to get a bonus. But I'm not too worried about that in this video. I'm just kind of going over how to do these functions should something along these lines be what you're trying to accomplish. The AND function would basically be saying that if you want this $1,000 bonus, not only do you need to have a job rating greater than 3, but you also need to have more than 5 years of service. So, in other words, anyone who has worked there for less than 5 years is not entitled to this bonus. Like, they just absolutely have no chance. Doesn't matter if they get a 5 for their rating. They don't want to hand out bonuses to people who, have only been in the company for a little while and may end up transitioning to a new job. Maybe you got some. Maybe you're in a field where there's a lot of job hoppers, so you want to reward the people who stick around and make your life a little bit easier so you're not constantly looking to hire new people. So we're going to start with the OR function. We're going to kind of do what I talked about before. So we're going to start our if statement, and we're going to say if, and this is where it's a little less intuitive, but once you understand what's going on, it makes sense. Now, normally, people would think that you're going to open up your if statement, you're going to type job rating greater than 3, and then after you do that, people would think you would do comma or, but that's not the case. You actually need to do the OR function first. You open your if statement, then you immediately open your OR statement, and I'll explain kind of why that is after I put in my my logical test. Basically, you're going to see with the OR statement, when it comes up with the directions, it's saying logical 1, logical 2, and then ... means you can put as many logical tests in here as you want. So logical test 1 is going to be a job rating greater than 3 to get this bonus. We're going to close. We're going to hit comma. Basically, when you open the OR statement, the comma implies OR. So we're saying job rating greater than 3 or years of service, okay, greater than 10. Close the OR statement. Okay, so this is so the way this is working is if statements open. So we're saying if, OR statements open. So we're saying if, we jump right to this. If job rating greater than 3 or years of service greater than 10. Okay. Then we're going to be, and you can see that once I closed my OR statement, it brought me right back to my if statements directions or steps or whatever you want to call them. So I've finished my logical test. My logical test was the job rating greater than 3 or years of service greater than 10. And we're going to say hit comma. And now value if true. Value if true, we're going to give them a $1,000 bonus. Okay? And like we discussed in the last video, there are nested if statements. Now, if you want to do a nested if statement, maybe there's more than one type of bonus out there. At that point, we would hit comma, and we would open up that if statement. Okay? And then we would if there's multiple ways to earn the second bonus, the $500 bonus, we're going to instantly type 4. Now, in the previous video, we said that if you had a job rating equal to 3, then you got a $500 bonus. So I'm going to still keep that true. So if the job rating is equal to 3, then we're going to get the $500 bonus. Or, so I'm going to hit my comma, or if your years of service are greater than 5, then you can get that $500 bonus. Okay. So I've closed my OR statement, and now I've got you can see I'm back to my second. This is for my second if statement. I'm at the logical test. I have finished that, so I'm going to hit comma, and the value of my second if statement is going to be $500. I'm not going to do any more bonuses. Basically, if you don't get the $1,000 or $500 bonus, you get nothing. So I'm going to put 0. Close the parentheses, and as you can see, my parentheses here are green. So that means that this closing green parenthesis is closing the opening green parenthesis. So I'm just going to keep putting parentheses in until I see a black one, because the black one is my first one that I made over here. So once I see that closing black parenthesis, I can now hit enter. Okay, and you can see this person did not receive a bonus as they did not meet either of the criteria. So they didn't have a job rating greater than 3 because the job rating was 1. They didn't have more than 10 years of service. So they got nothing there. They didn't get the $1,000 bonus. They didn't have a job rating of 3, and they don't have more than 5 years of worth of service. So this person got neither bonus. Now I'm going to double click this, and it's going to spread down, and you can see who got bonuses, how much that bonus was. So it's pretty simple. And so it's also important to note too that you can set up the value if true. If we click up, I'm going to open up that again. So the value if true is this $1,000. Now you can see that I made my header say new salary. So what we could do here, if we really wanted this to represent their new salary, then you can be pretty creative with the value if true. So what I'm going to do is I'm not just going to say that they get $1,000. I'm going to say they're going to get their old salary plus $1,000. And the same thing over here with the 500. I'm going to say their old salary plus $500, and we're going to hit enter. And what that is going to do is if they got a bonus, it's going to show me what their new salary is. Now we still have these blank spaces because these people didn't get bonuses. So if you want to fix that and you want these blank spaces to say basically mimic the old salary, is essentially what's going to happen. They didn't get a bonus, they didn't get anything added onto their salary, so the salary stays the same. So if you want to represent that, we're going to open our formula back up. Here's our false statement. Now our false statement still says 0, which is why you see a blank space in that cell, because these people didn't meet the criteria, so they get nothing. Now, if you would rather it say if they don't meet their criteria, they just get their blanket salary. Hit enter. We're going to copy and paste that down. Then you can see that Jan and John, neither of them got a bonus because they didn't meet any of their criteria. So that's using the OR statements to develop new salaries. So I'm going to type that's a new salary OR. And I'm going to make another column. This column is going to be new salary and. So we're going to use an and statement. Now remember, OR statements say there's multiple ways to earn this one bonus. There's multiple ways to obtain this one thing. So there were multiple ways to earn the $1,000 bonus, and there were multiple ways to earn the $500 bonus. And statements imply that there's multiple things you have to do to get the bonus. There's not multiple ways to earn it. There's multiple things you have to do to get it. So we're going to show you what that looks like. It's very, very similar to the OR function. So again, we're going to open up our if statement and immediately open up our AND statement, because our AND statement is going to be our logical test. What do we want people to have to do in order to get that bonus? Okay, so I'm going to say that if you want that $1,000 bonus, okay, you need to have a job rating greater than 3, and you need to have, so I'm going to put comma. The comma basically implies the and. So job rating greater than 3, and my next logical test, or my next criteria, is going to be years of service have to be greater than 4. So in other words, you have to have 5 or more years of service. And I'm going to end that. That's my AND statement. That's my logical test. So if your job rating is greater than 3 and your years of service are greater than 4, then you can get a $1,000 bonus. So just as I just showed you, I'm going to click their old salary plus the $1,000 bonus. And I'm going to hit comma. So now at this point, I could nest another if statement for the second bonus, or if I don't want to give them a second bonus, I could just put my false value. I am going to give that $500 bonus again. So I'm going to start another if statement. I'm going to go right into another AND statement, because just as with the $1,000 bonus, the $500 bonus also has multiple criteria that you have to meet. So to get the $500 bonus, you have to have a job rating greater than, or no, we're going to say job rating equal to 3, to be consistent, and you're going to have years of service greater than 2. So as long as you've been with the company 3 or more years, you can qualify for this $500 bonus. We're going to end our parentheses there, because that's our logical test. Again, it reads job rating equal to 3. Of course, the way Excel reads that is it reads the corresponding B cell in row 2 is greater than 3. But obviously the B column represents our job ratings. So the job ratings greater than 3, and the years of service is greater than 2. Okay, we're going to hit comma because we now want to put in our true value. If you meet both of those criteria, then you get a $500 bonus. But I don't want to just put 500 there. I'm going to put old salary plus 500, comma. And now I'm ready to put my value of false. Value of false is just simply your old salary. There's no change to your salary, so it stays the same. I'm going to close off all of my parentheses there. Hit enter. And you can see this person didn't meet either of the criteria. So you had to have a job rating greater than 3. Didn't happen. So the second that Excel sees that, they don't even look at it. It doesn't even stop to look at his years of service, because this is an AND statement. So if he doesn't meet the rating, then there's no point looking at the years of service. He's not going to get the $1,000. For the 500, he had to have a job rating equal to 3. Again, this guy has no job rating equal to 3. His job rating is 1. So we're going to copy this down. Nope. So we have to drag this one down. Okay, I can't just double click because there's nothing here in the column to the left. If there was data in the column to the left, I could double click it and it would copy and paste until that data ended to the left. So I'm going to drag this down. And I'm also going to come up here and I'm going to click the money symbol, because I want my salaries to be represented as dollars, like that. And I'm going to take the decimals away. So I'm going to hit this button here. 1, 2, decimals gone. So basically we're just rounding everything to the nearest dollar. And we can now see, based off of their old salaries, who met the criteria. You can see didn't make it. This guy looks like he got a $500 bonus. He didn't get the $1,000 bonus because his job rating didn't meet either of the criteria. He didn't have more than 4 years, and he didn't have a job rating greater than 3, he had a job rating of 3. Now, for the $500 bonus, a job rating of 3 is fine, and his years of service were also greater than 2. Let's see if we can find someone who got the $1,000 bonus right here. Jane got the $1,000 bonus. It looks like her. Yep. Because Jane's job rating was greater than 3 and her years of service were greater than 5. So she met both criteria, so she got $1,000 added on to her old salary. Remember, the highlighted is her old salary. Here's her new salary, $1,000 greater. So that is a compound if statement using either the AND function or the OR function. In my next video and final video on these if statements, I will show you how you can combine if statements, AND statements, as well as OR statements all into one formula. It gets a little complicated, but there are uses for it, and we'll go over that in the next video. So stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching this video.